What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Anger Management, starring Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson. Let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. When it's all said and done, I love Anger Management. This is one of my all-time favorite Adam Sandler comedies. This movie won't go down as a comedy classic. And if you compare it to some of Adam Sandler's more earlier works, yeah, not everyone's gonna like this movie, but for me, I thoroughly enjoy Anger Management. Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson, they make this movie. The chemistry between Sandler and Nicholson make this movie. I cannot stress that enough. These two are hilarious together in this movie. Their comedic chemistry, you would have never thought that Sandler and Nicholson would have such good on-screen chemistry as a comedic duo, but they absolutely work. Adam Sandler's character as this passive-aggressive guy who constantly lets people walk all over him and is just too afraid to get into confrontation bounces off so well against the eccentric personality of Buddy Rydell, played by Jack Nicholson, who is this unconventional anger management therapist who does whatever he can to try and get Dave Busnick, Adam Sandler's character, to just let loose in a way. It's fantastic. It's like the things that Rydell puts Busnick through is absolutely hysterical. And some of my favorite just moments in an Adam Sandler movie are in this film. Some of my favorite side characters are in this film. Like Anger Management to me has some of the most underrated funny bits in an Adam Sandler movie, and I never really feel that this movie gets enough credit at all. I think this movie is kind of forgotten about in the greater scheme of Adam Sandler's body of work. Then again, Adam Sandler's body of work is an acquired taste, because you're either going to like his movies or you're going to hate his movies. But for me, I love this movie. You know, Sandler and Nicholson, can't praise them enough. They are fantastic. Some of my favorite scenes of these two together. Obviously, the introduction scene where Busnick is on a plane and he gets thrown off the plane. This is the introduction scene where he meets Rydell, and when we get to the revelation that the whole thing was staged is absolutely hysterical. But like the introduction scene where Busnick first meets Buddy Rydell is hilarious. The first session he has, it's funny. Then we get to the whole part of the movie where they pretty much become roommates, and this is where the fun really begins. You get the whole thing of Rydell you got the whole thing of Rydell trying to coerce Busnick into having sex with a transvestite who was played by Woody Harrelson, and I love this scene. I thought Woody Harrelson, and even though it's a cameo role, I thought Woody Harrelson in this movie was absolutely hysterical, and you could have easily stretched out Woody Harrelson's part in this movie. I loved it. Absolutely enjoyed the hell out of Woody Harrelson in this movie. Needed more screen time. The whole thing of Busnick tricking Rydell into thinking that his mother's having a life-threatening surgery, and they got to take a trip to Boston, but it's all revealed to be a joke. And then Rydell gets back at him by having a more patient of his, played by Heather Graham, act like a crazy girl, as a way for him to get Dave into cheating on his girlfriend Linda, played by Marissa Tomei. I thought that bit was also funny too. The scene where they go to a monastery and you get the John C. Reilly cameo, who played a bully who used to torture Dave when they were kids. I love John C. Reilly's cameo in this movie as a Buddhist monk. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It's one of my favorite scenes in this entire movie. It's absolutely hysterical. And yes, John C. Reilly, just like Woody Harrelson, a cameo that could have been easily stretched out far more than what it was, and you could have easily gotten more mileage out of it as well. Like Woody Harrelson and John C. Reilly's, those two scenes are my favorite scenes in this entire movie. But to this movie's credit, Woody Harrelson does come back at the end of the movie and does play a little bit of a role in the climax when Dave is trying to get his girlfriend back. So I give the movie some credit. You did use Woody Harrelson's character again, but you could have easily used John C. Reilly's character more than what you did. But the monk monastery scene is absolutely hysterical. It's so goofy, it's so over the top, and I love every minute of it. And then you get to like the middle. Then you get to like the latter half of the movie where where Busnick and his girlfriend Linda, played by Marissa Tomei, have their little split. And then and then Busnick, as a way to spy on his girlfriend, hooks up with these two adult film actresses who are in his anger management group. They go to this restaurant named Mort's to spy on Linda, and it's revealed that Linda is actually on a date with Buddy. And this is also one of my favorite scenes. It's a brief, minor character. Stephen Dunham plays a maitre d', and his two lines always make me gut laughing. He's like you gotta watch the maitre d' scene in this movie. It's so brief, but it's so memorable and it's so funny. I can't stop laughing. Every time I think about it, I laugh because that's how much I enjoy it. Like, anger management's got so much good stuff in it. Even though the cameos and some of the actors who are in those cameos, I think those cameos could have been further expanded upon. It doesn't take away from the overall supporting cast, which I do think is really strong. I do like Marissa Tomei as the character of Linda, though I think as a love interest, she could have been expanded upon maybe a little bit more. But I do give the movie a lot of credit. At the end, it's revealed that she was actually in cahoots with Buddy. The entire time. And this whole thing of Dave going to anger management was a way for him to come out of his shell and act and not be so neurotic all the time. So even though I think the character of Linda could have had more screen time, I do appreciate the fact that they actually made her character somewhat. I do think they made her character. I do like the idea of her orchestrating the whole thing. I mean, they can come across as like a little bit sneaky, and maybe come across as her being like this evil orchestrator. But she was doing it from the right place. I like to say. So that part was fun. Kurt Fuller, who played Busnick's boss, he had a handful of scenes where he's constantly, on Dave's ass. I like Kurt Fuller. I think the scenes were okay, mildly entertaining. Alan Corvette, he played a former lover of Linda, and the whole running gag is that he has a huge piece. That running joke got old after the first time, so yeah, I didn't really find that bit funny. But you got John Todoro, Luis Guzman, and other Sandler regulars playing some of Busnick's anger management classmates. Those guys are funny. That whole session, that whole scene where Dave's at his first session, I thought was absolutely hysterical and funny and really, really funny. John Turturro playing the guy Chuck, who is like this head case character, I thought was actually entertaining in some scenes. So this movie does have a lot of good and funny bits and funny moments to it. And I do like the whole third act taking place at Yankee Stadium, where Busnick finally admits his love for Linda and proposes to her on the field after he thinks that Buddy's going to steal his idea and do the same, but it's actually the other way around, and that the whole elaborate ruse for Buddy was for Buddy and Linda to get Dave to do this. I thought that whole third act is actually pretty funny, and that's also where Woody Harrelson's character comes back when he's in his male form of Gary playing a security guard, and he allows David onto the field. It's I like that whole third act was fun. Yeah. So those are really my thoughts on anger management. I enjoyed this movie. I like it a lot. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. If you have not seen anger management in a long time, give it a watch. I think it's worth it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.